What is NLP and how does it work? Natural language processing, NLP, is a fascinating branch of artificial intelligence that enables machines to understand and interact with human language. Imagine trying to explain human communication, full of nuances and ambiguities, to a computer. For example, consider the word bank. Depending on the context, it could mean a financial institution, the side of a river, or even a verb indicating movement, as in banking a turn. NLP works by using algorithms, data, and linguistic rules to determine the meaning based on context. A great example is voice assistants like Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant. When you say, "What's the weather like today?" These systems don't just recognize the individual words. They identify your intent. You're asking for weather information. This involves understanding your speech, converting it into text, speech to text, analyzing the query, and responding meaningfully. Similarly, chatbots in customer service use NLP to understand customer queries and provide relevant answers. The process involves two main aspects: input understanding, interpreting spoken or written language, and output generation, creating coherent responses. Key components of NLP. For computers to make sense of language, NLP relies on several foundational processes. One of these is tokenization, which breaks text into smaller units like words or phrases. For instance, a sentence like "I love learning about AI" would be split into tokens: I love learning about AI. This step helps machines process language in manageable pieces. Another crucial component is parsing, which examines grammatical structure. Parsing helps machines identify parts of speech and understand sentence roles, like knowing "John threw the ball" involves an action by John directed at the ball. Sentiment analysis is another essential technique that detects the emotional tone behind a text. Companies use sentiment analysis to understand customer feedback, whether people feel positively, negatively, or neutrally about a product or service. For instance, analyzing tweets about a new smartphone launch can reveal public perception. A more advanced feature is named entity recognition, NAR, which identifies specific entities in text such as names, dates, and locations. For example, in the sentence "Barack Obama was elected in 2008, NAR extracts Barack Obama as a person and 2008 as a year. These processes work together, allowing NLP applications to transform raw language data into actionable insights. Machine learning in NLP. Machine learning has been a game changer in NLP, moving us away from systems that rely on hard-coded rules to those that learn dynamically from data. In supervised learning, models are trained on labeled datasets. For example, a dataset with thousands of customer reviews tagged as positive or negative trains the model to classify new reviews accurately. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, finds patterns in data without labels. A common use case is topic modeling, where an algorithm identifies themes in a set of documents, such as clustering news articles into topics like politics, sports, or technology. The real revolution, however, has come from our deep learning models, particularly transformers, like GPT or BERT. These models excel at understanding context. For instance, they can distinguish between running late, a delay, and running a marathon, an activity based on surrounding words. They use a mechanism called attention, which helps them focus on key parts of a sentence, even if they are far apart. Deep learning has powered applications like chatbots, virtual assistants, and tools like Grammarly, which provides grammar corrections and writing suggestions. It's also the backbone of advanced translation systems like Google Translate, which we'll explore in more depth later. These advancements show how machine learning allows NLP systems to improve and adapt with usage over time. Neural machine translation (NMT) and its advancements. One of the most impactful applications of NLP is translation, particularly through systems like Google Translate. Early translation systems were either rule-based, which required strict linguistic programming, or statistical, which relied on large bilingual text datasets. While these approaches were groundbreaking at the time, they often failed to capture fluency and context. Neural machine translation (NMT) has transformed this landscape by using deep learning techniques. A key innovation in NMT is the pawn transformer architecture, which allows models to focus on the most relevant words in a sentence during translation. For instance, in translating the sentence, "She gave her book to the librarian." The model identifies the roles of she, her book, and the librarian, ensuring an accurate and contextually meaningful translation. This is achieved through mechanisms like attention, which prioritize important parts of a sentence, regardless of their position. Recent advancements in multilingual models, such as OpenAI's GPT, have further enhanced NMT. These models are capable of understanding and translating multiple languages simultaneously without being retrained for each language. This development makes real-time communication, like subtitles in live videos or text messaging across languages, more seamless and accurate. The shift from literal to context-aware translation has made NMT an essential tool for global communication. Challenges in NLP for translation applications. Despite its advancements, NLP in translation still faces significant challenges. One of the most persistent issues is capturing Samoan cultural nuances. Languages are deeply tied to culture, and phrases often carry meanings that go beyond their literal words. For example, translating the English idiom, "It's raining cats and dogs," into another language could cause confusion if rendered literally. Models must learn to translate such phrases into culturally equivalent expressions, which remains a complex task. Another challenge lies in low-resource languages. Languages with limited digital or written data available for training. While English, Chinese, and Spanish benefit from abundant datasets, many African or indigenous languages are underrepresented. This imbalance limits the reach and inclusivity of translation tools. Ambiguity in language adds another layer of difficulty. Words with multiple meanings, such as bat, an animal, or a sports tool, require careful disambiguation based on context. Additionally, the grammatical and syntactical differences between languages can lead to errors in structure, making translations awkward or inaccurate. Overcoming these challenges requires more sophisticated models and collaborative efforts to gather and annotate diverse linguistic data. Future trends in NLP and translation technologies. The future of NLP and translation technologies holds exciting possibilities. A prominent trend is the development of multilingual models, capable of handling dozens of languages simultaneously. These models aim to bridge the gap between high-resource and low-resource languages by sharing knowledge across languages during training. Another significant trend is contextual understanding, which makes translations sound more natural. For example, advanced systems can now adapt translations based on the formality or tone of the original text. Imagine translating a formal business letter versus an informal text message. Context-aware systems can adjust accordingly. Real-time translation in audio and video is also evolving rapidly. Picture having a live conversation with someone who speaks a different language, with instant, accurate translations delivered via subtitles or voice synthesis. These developments are already being applied in tools like Zoom's live translation features. Lastly, efforts to include underrepresented languages are gaining momentum. For instance, projects focused on preserving endangered languages are creating datasets for future NLP models. As NLP increasingly integrates voice and visual inputs, the dream of a world where language barriers no longer exist is becoming a reality.